I'm honestly so thankful that this movie has been created because, to be honest, this franchise has been a mess, and thanks to this movie, this franchise has been saved. And also, I'm wearing this hat because this is what I would wear if I was in the forest in a Wrong Turn movie. So welcome back everyone to another video here on this channel, Royal Horror.
Jungle of love.
We're gonna do today, we are going to review Wrong Turn from 2021, the reboot from Wrong Turn 2003, which is personally one of my favorite movies of all time. So how this video is gonna work is I'm gonna give my personal review, my personal thoughts from this movie. I'm gonna give positive aspects, negative, and at the end of the video I'm gonna answer a question that many horror fans and many Wrong Turn fans are asking. Is Wrong Turn 2021, is this reboot considered a Wrong Turn movie? It should be part of this franchise, yes or no? Stay tuned until the end of the video because I'm gonna answer that with my own thoughts from my own experience from this movie. And the first one that comes to mind is that this movie knew how to be a reboot, because we all know that remakes and reboots, sometimes most of them, they recreate the same movie, the same original movie, and they don't give something new. So I love that this movie knew how to be a reboot because it took the concept from the Wrong Turn from 2003 and it changed it completely. And I love that because it was something new, something fresh from this franchise, and something unique. And another aspect that I really love from this movie is that out of the whole 7 films from this franchise, I think this movie is the best when it comes to cinematography, camera shots, because I really loved how everything looked in the forest. I loved the designs at the end of the movie, the plot twist. I really loved how the community looks like, the costumes, the characters, every single thing that this movie has looks amazing. Now, another aspect that I really love from Wrong Turn 2021 is that I love the gore, the death, the blood, because even though there are not so many deaths in this movie, every single one that happens is very graphic. So just keep that in mind when you watch this movie, because the gore, in my opinion, was beautiful, was perfect. It knew how to be not too much but not too low, so just in the middle. And this movie kind of reminds me of Hereditary and Midsommar when it comes to the gore and the blood. Another good aspect that I love from Wrong Turn 2021 is the characters, and this is gonna be quite controversial because I have seen that many people are complaining because the characters that look cliché, they don't have a great development. But in my opinion, this is the movie where you really get to know the characters before the events happen in the forest. Even though the first movie has great characters, I love the characters from the first movie, you don't really get to know them at all. You just see them at the crash at the forest, and like 5 minutes after, things start to happen to them. But when it comes to Wrong Turn 2021, they really knew how to give us the characters. We get to know them, we get to know our final girl, and just in general, we get to interact with the characters. We see them coming to this town, we see them having some drinks, laughing. Another positive aspect that I really loved from Wrong Turn 2021 is the antagonist community, people in general. I think they looked very real, and I loved how the Wrong Turn 2021 doesn't give us cartoonish characters, because even though I love the cannibals from the first movie, I think from the second movie until the 6th they just look like a joke. I don't take them seriously, they look very cartoonish, and even like the teenagers from the movies, they're very cartoonish. So I really loved how Wrong Turn 2021 managed to give us creepy people in a sinister way. Another positive aspect from this movie is the final girl. I think Charlotte Vega did an amazing job. I think her performance was insane. One of the best performances from this whole franchise. I think that she knew how to give the expressions on her face when she was scared, when she was worried, when she was traumatized, when she was serious. I think her performance was so good. To conclude, the positive aspects from this movie is that I loved how this movie knew how to give us a first act, a second act, and a third act. And what I mean is that they knew how to give us in the first act, we get to know the characters, we get to know this town, these creepy people, and also we get to know the story with the dad and stuff, and I really enjoyed it. When it comes to the middle act, I really loved when everything goes wrong. I really like when the traps start to happen. One of my favorite ones is the wooden locks, because I think the performance is very great. The camera work on that scene is insane. When it comes to the final part, the final act, I loved how it knew how to be combined into 2 parts. because we get to see what happens to these characters when it comes to meeting the evil people, the sinister people, and I really appreciate it. I think this feels like a different movie, but in a good way, because the end of this movie feels very fresh, and I loved how this movie ended because I didn't expect it at all. And I think this is one of the greatest ends in a Wrong Turn movie. Now, before we go into the negative aspects from this movie, is that don't forget to follow me on my social media over here. And now, when it comes to some negative aspects, because of course this movie is not perfect, it has some negative things, and one of them is that even though I love the characters, and even though I loved how they managed to give us and how they managed to allow us to get to know them, at the same time, not every character has like a lot of dialogues, and I think that was quite a negative part, because if we have more characters, if we have like a group of friends, at least give us more communication, more dialogue, so we get to know them a little bit better. Another negative aspect that I really didn't like is that there is a few scenes where they feel very cliche, and I just didn't like that, because if I want to see loads of cliches, I just have to watch the rest of the Wrong Turn movies. But yeah, I don't really have so many bad things to say about this movie. I know many fans or many people have so many thoughts when it comes to giving negative aspects, but in my opinion, I think this movie doesn't have too many bad things to talk about. Remember at the beginning of this video how I mentioned that I will answer the question, should this movie be considered a Wrong Turn movie? And my answer is yes. And the main reason is because, come on, this movie gives us group of friends getting lost in the forest and meeting creepy people. That's what happens in a Wrong Turn movie, and this movie gave us. This movie is a reboot from the original. This movie completely forgets about the rest of the franchise, and I think that's great, because to be honest, this franchise is very bad. It's such a mess. I really don't enjoy watching this franchise. I only have the first two, and I'm planning to own this one because I loved it. But in general, I think this movie served this whole franchise because it was a mess, and I think this movie helped to build up again this franchise. And people say it shouldn't be a Wrong Turn because there is no cannibals, there is no blood, there is no gore. There is gore, there is death, and there is blood. And to be honest, the kills on this movie are the best kills when it comes to the Wrong Turn franchise with the first movie, because they don't feel cartoonish, they don't feel over the top. They feel real, they feel creepy, they feel sinister, and I really appreciate that. Just in general, and to conclude this video, I know I really didn't give too many bad things to say about this movie, but to be honest, in my own experience, I loved it. I loved how this movie knew how to be a reboot by taking the original idea and changing it completely and giving us something different, something fresh, and something unique. If people want to see cartoonish characters, cannibals, killing people for no reason, they have 6 films to do that. So I don't know why people are complaining too much for this movie. Alright people, that was it. That was my review from this whole movie. I try to avoid giving so many spoilers because I really want people to enjoy this movie and give me your own thoughts. So leave in the comments section below your thoughts from Wrong Turn 2021. Did you like it? Did you hate it? And why? I would really love to read your comments. Or if you want, just send me your opinions over my Instagram. I will always read them. And have a great end of the week, and I will see you on the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, give a like, and leave a comment. That really helps me in a tremendous way, and I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.